Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. In this episode, I want to do some improvisation using Sverchok add-on. So I haven't touched Sverchok for a while, but this add-on is still being developed continuously, and there's a lot of things going on with Sverchok. If you are actually using FreeCAD and you want to use it inside Sverchok, you can do that. In this video, I'm just gonna talk the basics of Sverchok once again. So if you have the add-on installed, you can enable things like extra nodes if you want to. There's a lot of package that you can install separately, but even with the basic Sverchok, you got more than 200 nodes to work with, and this sort of works with geometry nodes in some cases. So yeah, the first thing you want to see, you want to try is probably just look at the generators and play around with this, maybe plane or circle or cylinder. You can start with, for example, with Suzanne and Cricket. If you have both connected to mesh viewer, select Suzanne, select mesh viewer, tap V, it will connect the vertices, edges, and faces informations. If you duplicate the mesh vertices, connect the Cricket, you're gonna end up with this Cricket monkey. It's a very cool feature of Sverchok. And they both are separated. You got alpha and beta because the mesh viewer is by default it's gonna generate a different mesh name. Okay, and you can scale whatever. Let's try other things like, for example, the box. So I'm just gonna give like random example that I could think of. Save this, Sverchok, random. So I could talk for 1 hour on Sverchok. There's a lot that I can show, but the most basic is basically the generators, and then you can start to understand how the matrix also works. So we have alpha, beta, which is this guy. We're just gonna delete it. So we just created a box, mesh viewer, and then the output is gonna be gamma. Okay. If you use line and you connect this to matrix and increase the scale, okay, yeah, okay, you got that. So line, of course, is like the mesh line will by default will create a simple line with points, and the vertex points can be plugged into matrix directly, or you can properly connect it using matrix input. Oh, actually matrix in. So this is more correct way to do it. So now we have, let's say, 10 points in the line and a simple box. With the size over here, let's see if we can randomize it and plug this into the size. So you can see with Sverchok it's all like very dynamics, and most of things in Sverchok is like vectorized, so you can do a lot of things very quickly. So the result of this mesh is multiple objects. Okay, so we have 10 objects, each one of them is named gamma, and you can actually merge it into single objects if you want to, and you can process it using geometry nodes if you want. So the box itself have this matrix input, so you can use random number and maybe randomize the scale. Okay, this one maybe don't do this for now. Let's just do something simpler like using cylinder. So cylinder and line, and we have the cylinder arranged in lines, and we can randomize the size, for example. Okay, so that's possible because its cylinder nodes is very vectorized. And if you want, instead of using line, we can use circle. Okay. And if it's not circle, we can also use something cool called matrix normal. So this is probably what you want. Because this can give you, if we just change this directions, yeah, it will give you this. So each one of them is a separate objects. We can see it. Okay. And we still have control over the height and the radius of each cylinder, and the cylinder you can turn it into a cone like that. If you don't want a circle, you can use random vector and simply plug this there. Like that. So that's also possible. So let's create another example. This time you can use maybe a circle, plug this there. We have a single circle, and we can use grid. Grid is called plane in Sverchok. So let's say we have this grid of circles. Okay, we can randomize the radius. This. Okay, the number we specify here, maybe we should match it with the number of points there. 49, 7 by 7. And the cool thing with Sverchok, you can also randomize this guy over here. Let's plug this into the number of vertices. You see now we have different circle points. Each one of them is separate, but we can always merge it. So if we merge it, we have a single object. We still have control here. And if we want to combine this with geometry nodes, Sverchok is calculated first. Now we have this final mesh, and we can turn on geometry nodes, and we can use extrude, because extrude in geometry nodes is already pretty cool, because for each face you can just randomize the extrusions. Of course, this is something that you can do inside geometry nodes as well, but Sverchok is still kind of powerful in the way. And let's see here, the bottom part is hollow. This is the things with geometry nodes. If you extrude it, so you probably want to join it with the original objects. Let's try volume to mesh, mesh to volume, connect this. Okay, so we have this. Now we can smooth, and we can reduce the geometry using adaptivity. Everything still works procedurally. So we should now have a way to generate this. Okay, so what else can we do here? Since this guy is using geometry nodes now, maybe connect the seed as an input. So we have this control over the seed. You can randomize this, select all three, and then you can hold options, randomize the seed. Okay, select this guy, randomize, select this, randomize. So each one of them, I believe, yeah, only this still correspond. So the circle radius still only works on this guy, and this one is already a new object but has geometry nodes. So this guy have the Sverchok bake into it. This one still connected to Sverchok. So once again, matrix normal, random vector. Okay. Okay, 9. So we have just a way to generate this type of things. Could be for like environment or something abstract looking. So yeah, that's I think there's other things. I mean, box is useful, cylinder, spheres, icosphere, Taurus, Suzanne, and Cricket. There's also like other things, like other generators. I don't know, I think even with the random vector we can I don't know, you have to experiment with that. If you start to get into other things like curves and surfaces, you can easily do like lofting with Sverchok. There's also Voronoi inside Sverchoks. There's all this math and dictionary. I haven't used that much. Matrix, there's a lot of matrix here that you can use. Yeah, as for with Sverchok, you can also use things like stethoscope, and this should give you like a viewer on the Mac. It's a little bit funky because on the Mac actually the screen resolution is twice as normal. In order to fix that weirdness, you need to make the resolutions set to scale it to 2, but my screen become really small. But this actually should fix the stethoscope things. So this will show you the vertices, the edges informations if you want. And with Sverchok, you can actually create custom attributes that you can transfer into geometry nodes. Maybe that's something that I should make video of. So that's the edge informations inside Sverchok, and also the polygon informations for the face. So that's the index of the vertices. So a lot of cool stuff. What else? Object ID, you can also set as for the objects modifier. If you want to control it using Sverchok, you can also do that simply by using object ID. So you can pass the object data and then get the value here, copy data path, paste it here, and you can randomize using Sverchok. Yeah, this actually will change the seed, but it will disappear from here because there's like a looping dependency. Yeah, so that's actually just another quick introductions to Sverchok and how you can use it with geometry nodes, like the easiest, the most simplest example that you can make of. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.